Okay, we are talking about the 4 steps to keep your clients longer, make more money, and accelerate your arrival to escape velocity, right? This is the back-end optimization to achieving full autonomy and FU money. The entire function as to why you are in a business to get escape velocity money. What is escape velocity money? So this is the financial point of self-sustenance. Your money produces enough money for you to survive while requiring 0 hours of your time. So let's make an assumption here. You have $10 million liquid. And you have a 5% risk-free rate of return. If you make 5% return on $10 million liquid, you get $500,000 per year net free cash flow. The risk-free rate of return is what the United States government will pay you to lend money from you. This is the rates that the United States government will pay you, right? You want as much money as possible. You want your money to self-sustain you, where you could do absolutely nothing and there's no way that you could screw this up. So the quickest way for you to stack cash is to sign clients for your own business and keep them. So how do we keep clients? And the best way for me to help you understand it is to walk you through some churn math. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about churn. So let's make some assumptions here. You've got a 30% churn rate on your clients. You charge $3,000 per month and you get 1 new client every single month. Here are some charts to help you visualize this. With these numbers right here, you will cap out at $10,000 per month. You will never ever make more than $10,000 per month if these are your numbers. And over the course of a year, you will make about $100,000. So you would probably think, oh, well, what if I just get 2 new customers a month? So let's change this number to 2. Let's see what happens. You cop out at $20,000 per month and you end up making about $200,000 over the course of a year. But now let's get real ballsy with this. Let's optimize for the long-term play. Let's cut this churn number in half. What happens? You went from capping out to reaching almost the point of perpetual return. This can keep going and going and going. This might go up to 40K. So now what happens if you turn this into 5%? Let's get real ballsy with this. What happens? You can make an absolutely absurdly more amount of money. Your MRR will increase perpetually if this is sufficiently low enough. You want this number to go as low as possible. And the reason why is because it costs more effort and more money to acquire a new client as opposed to simply keeping the ones you already have. It just makes more sense. And now to help you visualize this even better, each client has a lifetime value. So look at the lifetime value of one client right here. The lifetime value of a singular client right here is $60,000. Now, if this goes back to 30, the lifetime value of them is only $10,000. So let's say you're running ads for your business. You're doing hyperscale. You're at ads right now. Somebody with a $10,000 lifetime value of a customer might only be willing to spend $1,000 or $2,000 to acquire a customer, right? And even then, they'd be making like 0 month 1. But they know that each customer, if their churn rate is 30%, they charge $3,000 a month. They know that their average lifetime value of a client is going to be $10,000 each. But if this goes down to 10%, it tripled the lifetime value. So this same person who was only comfortable spending $1,000 or $2,000 to acquire a new customer might now be comfortable spending $5,000 or $8,000 to acquire a new customer. And this is important in a competitive marketplace, which every single one of you watching this video exists inside of. The person who can spend the most to acquire a customer gets all of the customers. Do you understand what I'm saying? You need to have an absolutely extreme lifetime value. The higher your lifetime value goes, the way ballsier you can get. The lengths you are willing to go to acquire a new customer. You can do things that other people cannot economically. This is important. You have to play with these numbers. I'm going to leave a link to this thing in the description that you can play with. So before proceeding forward, I will assume you know how to get clients. So you should have watched this video. You should have watched this video. I'm going to leave a link to these in the description as well. But let's move forward with this. Let's talk about the first 4 steps. So there are 2 components keeping clients. 2, you got the client result, you got the client experience. Now imagine this situation. You make a client $20,000 profit per month, charging them $3,000 per month. So your clients make a good profit working with you. However, you barely talk to the client. You don't really have a relationship with them. Then they get a cold email from one of your competitors and it says, we can make you $40,000 per month. And now because you're doing such a good job for your client, they default associate all companies like yours as just magically being able to get results. You're a lead gen agency. Another lead gen agency came to me and they said that they can make me more money. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to go with that lead gen agency because lead gen agencies just make us money. That's what they think. The result itself becomes commoditized. And because there's no loyalty between you and the client, because you didn't establish a relationship with them, it's easy for them to leave because they don't feel as if they're betraying you. It's just business as usual. This is why customer experience is important, to stop situations like this from happening. You don't want this to happen to you. So how do we make sure it doesn't happen to you? You give a good customer experience. How do you give a good customer experience? There are 4 steps to this. Step 1, onboarding. All humans, regardless of whether you are B2B or B2C, are human. They want attention and they want to be heard. They don't want to get lost in the ether, right? If you have a team, there needs to be a direct handoff between sales and fulfillment. There should never, ever, ever be blank space, like where they're not sure what is supposed to happen next. So you sign a client, they pay, there's no email, they're like waiting for something to happen. They're just confused as to what they do now. They were scared to give you the money, then they give you the money, and then they're confused what's happening. It's terrible, right? There needs to be a clear step forward at every point in time. Effectively a checklist for every conceivable thing that needs to happen for somebody to get onboarded, right? So step 2 is selectivity. You need to only be working with clients you are certain will get results. The best way for me to explain this to you is to show you a graph. So there are qualified clients and there are unqualified clients. And the more unqualified a client is to work with you, the more effort that is required to get them results. This is what happens when you sign unqualified clients. It's more work to get the same result as the qualified clients. The qualified client only requires this much right here where I'm pointing, not a lot. The unqualified clients require 4, 5, 6, 10 times more effort to get the same results as the qualified client. And this is important to understand because time spent trying to get unqualified clients results is less time spent on working with good clients, right? For every 1 hour you spend dealing with bad clients is 1 less hour you can spend in finding better, more qualified clients who are easier to get results for. So what you want to do here is identify trigger points. What did your best clients have in common? What did your worst clients have in common? Do your best clients already have case studies? Do your worst clients have 0 case studies? If that's the case, you should make it a requirement that all clients you work with already have case studies. And under absolutely no circumstance will you work with a client who does not have case studies. This is what I did for my original lead generation agency, my first business, my first proper agency, the lead gen agency, the cold email agency. This is what I did. Step 3, consistent communication. At all times, your clients should know what the game plan is and should be getting updated on results. Ideally, in real time. For instance, can you create automations to notify clients every time they get a new lead or a call schedule? Can you automate that? Every time you get something for them, and they just see it immediately, just notification that you just got them a result, right? And if they see this all the time, every day, all week, it's implanting into their mind that you are indispensable. Can you create a live dashboard they can view in real time? And you want to be transparent about when results aren't good. If you're not getting good results, let them know your action plan to make it better. Don't hide away in a hole hoping they won't notice. Most people are reasonable and will actually understand what's going on. They simply want to see you're trying and not forgetting about them, right? If the results are bad, tell them you understand they're bad and tell them what you're gonna do to fix that. You can't hide in the hole. Step 4 is unprompted extra value. You should be going out of your way to deliver peripheral services, consulting, advice, work to your clients that will have a high leverage for them. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're a cold email lead generation agency and your clients are having a tough time closing the sales call, right? So you might be able to help them with their sales process and their email follow-ups, right? Is their show rate bad? Give them the text automations and the email automations after a call is booked. Are they unable to close the calls? Review their calls for them and teach them like how to close cold traffic. Do they have a bad VSL and no case studies on their page? Offer to make the case studies for them, right? You have an inherent incentive to want them to get good results so they stay your client, right? So the client experience is what leads to the client results. You'll only get testimonials and case studies from a client that likes you. It's only after you have successfully done client results and client experience can you enter into the flywheel. So what is the flywheel? And I talk about this a lot. This is 80% of the functional workings of your business. This is how you grow a company. This is how I've grown all of my companies. I've hit 7 figures 3 separate times. You get a client, you get a case study, and that case study, by leveraging it, allows you to get another client, and that client results in another case study to which you can then use that case study to get another client, which does the same thing. It's a perpetual cycle over and over and over again. This is how you grow a company. It's the same thing every single time, right? So we will help you at a bare minimum of $10,000 per month in new revenue to your business and refund you if it doesn't work. This is for marketing agencies, B2B companies, clientextension.com. I'll leave the link to in the description. Love you. Goodbye. Subscribe.